Hi, it's me, Blue Sapphire, and I am here with something new for you guys. We are going to get into vlogging and some podcasting and things. I'll have a few people come on and talk with me, and this is just talking with Blue Sapphire. And I'm excited about the guest that I have today. I'm going to bring her in momentarily, but please share and subscribe so that others can find me and so that you know when I have new content that drops. It always comes back to books. So join me for this interview. And I'm bringing my guest in now. Here we go. Hey, Storm. This is Storm from Black Girls Hired. She is a vlogger and a TikTok influencer, and she reads books mega fast. And she has some dope reviews that she reviews with cigars as well as pairing them with alcohol. I don't think you're just a wine person, because when I saw a couple, they were whiskeys or something. So it's not just wine, right?
No, it's cognacs, bourbons, red wines, and maybe tequilas.
Reading and getting lit. That's all.
Yes, yes, yes. Pretty much, yes.
Our relaxation zone.
Exactly.
But I wanted to do something different when I decided to come back into podcasting and recording and stuff. I wanted to go a different route because I used to do a lot of author interviews. My first interview of the year was with an author. We need to be re-recorded because I jacked some things up.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to go with the influencer route this time. And I love your reviews. I love how you are in multiple genres.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dope to me. So I wanted to kick back and have a talk with you and talk some books. So go on, fire your questions up. I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. My first question is, how do you come up with these series that you do simultaneously? Like, you'll have one series about to come out, but you'll also have another series that's like, oh, the book is coming out too, like the next month or 2 months. How do you manage that, and how do you do that?
Okay, so they used to all run in my head simultaneously. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I realized that that was a bit um much as I got older. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As the age started to go, I was like, we're gonna have to write some of this down and we're gonna do it a little better, especially as the Legally Bound universe started to enlarge.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, we can't do this anymore because we need to know where we're going. So I do have it's kind of big, but I have a oh, I'll show you this.
Oh, wow.
This is where I plan all my series, all my universes. They're in here. There's
Wow.
another smaller one too. But they are color coded with stars. So each universe has its own color coding
Mm-hmm.
to it. And then there are outlines in here that outline each particular series, saying what each book is about, where it's going to go, kind of giving me an idea of where I'm going when I get back there. So, for instance, Calling on Quinn is its own. The Blackheart Brothers. That's his
Mm-hmm.
own universe. I had started that with a publisher, but I ended up separating from them. And I went back to the original idea I had for the series. So,
Mm-hmm.
there's a spinoff within that series that's written into the first book. So I had to start mapping out and lining up those books as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's pretty much outlines that are happening for each particular universe and series. Um, and I know that they're going to hook and loop. And sometimes I'm just writing and somebody will pop up and be like, "Oh, this is the series I belong in, and this is what my story is." Blah, 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 blah. You need to know this much, and then I can shut them up and put them in a vault. Try to shut them up and put them in a vault. Doesn't always work, but I try.
So you also have the Work Husband series.
Hmm.
Now, how is that right now where it's multiple men in the situation?
Elaborate on that question for me.
Like, you have in the Work Husband series, there's two men and one woman.
Oh, you mean when it's
Like,
poly relationship.
yeah.
Okay. I wasn't gonna do that at first. It was meant to be just Geo, but then he kept explaining to me that that wasn't the dynamic for him, that there was also Jace a part of that relationship. Um, I I'm gonna interview the person who I based that book off of. I know we talk about inclusion, and
Mhm.
I think that when people speak of inclusion, sometimes they only do it based on skin color, not on
Mhm.
lifestyle or beliefs. And
Mhm.
I have a reader she's poly, she's into BDSM, she is also primal and leather and something else. I'm actually gonna
Mhm.
interview um, but there her lifestyle is a part of she has a lot going on within her lifestyle. And we've talked a few times. And when I wanted to do the poly relationship, I got a lot of info from her and she gave me enough to be able to dive into that world and where I could study and research to make sure that I was pinpointing and giving accuracy to it. She also read their book before it came out, and
Mhm.
I was so happy because where some people were frustrated, she was like, "No, it's perfect. You nailed it." And I'm like, "Yeah." so, so those characters came about from talking to her and wanting because the first time we ever spoke, I
Mhm.
said to her, I was like, I want to dive into this world, but I have an alpha personality. My
Mhm.
husband has an alpha personality. I'm not seeing matter of fact, we spoke, I think, when I first went into writing
Mhm.
male romance. And I was like, I don't understand how I'm making this happen. More than one alpha male inside one particular book. And she was like, "Oh, that's our community all the time. That's nothing." She's like, "The point of a poly relationship that has two alphas in it is that they both understand that in every relationship, no one person has everything.
Right.
So these two males each have something that the other one doesn't, and they understand that for this relationship, I'm this for her, and I'm that for her. And
Right.
the whole goal is to make sure that this person is covered completely. So
Mhm.
like that was kind of where their characters came from and were developed from. Because after having that talk with her, I started to see where I wanted to go with Jace and Geo.
Okay.
Did I
Okay.
answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, so what about your female characters? You write Black female characters, and how do you keep maintain the balance in regards to them not coming off like a stereotype?
Because I'm a psychopath. All these happens is me. And little people, they some of these split personalities, they all somebody in this head. And yes, we're up to 70 books, so there's about 70 people up in here. You know what? I'm not gonna give you a separate a stereotype because I'm not a stereotype.
Right.
Yes, I grew up in the projects in New York, but I also have several degrees, master's degrees. Almost went for my PhD and then just got tired of spending that money for things that I already knew or
Yeah.
for classes that I could sit in and teach myself. So we just stopped. But I have several degrees. I've been through different educational systems, um,
Hmm.
Catholic school, public school, Jewish college, brick and mortar college, online college. I've done a lot of things. I've lived in New York. I've lived in West Virginia. I'm not just one person, so I can't give you
Mm.
a stereotype because I'm not a stereotype.
Right. Right. I feel that. I feel that. So, how do you feel being that you're an interracial romance author, and even in our own community of Black readers and Black authors, there's this stigma that comes along with interracial romance authors where people be like, "Oh my God, I only read Black love," but they really don't understand the definition of Black love is not just one monolithic thing.
Okay, so here's where some of y'all probably gonna cut off and be mad, or you're going to love me even more because you know I'm blunt and I say what I feel. This is where we get to the point that if you don't understand it, then it's not for you. If
Right.
you don't understand what I'm doing, I'm not for you. Like I'm writing romance. I'm writing escape. That's my purpose. I
Mm,
have I have come across several readers who've told me that my books are their escape, whether they're dealing with cancer, whether they're in active duty and having
mm,
bombs thrown on them while trying to survive and get back home. Um, there's a plethora of readers that I have that need an escape, and
mm,
and this is how the escape is coming to me. I write what comes to me. If it don't come to
mm.
me, I can't give it to you. Um,
Right.
like love is love. If y'all
Mhm,
want to put color on it, that's fine. I watched this video once and it was dope because dude said, if you take water and you put it in a glass,
mhm,
it's clear. It
mhm,
has no color. Why do we look at people and place a color on it when we're nothing but spirit, just like the water in the glass? We're
mhm.
spirit in a body. It just is in a vessel, and that's the only reason why you're giving a color to it. My
Right.
color doesn't speak. My color doesn't feel. My color is something you can see. But
Mm,
but that's as far as that goes. So then why am I to put a stigma or a belief on love itself as if it has a color? Like that's just weird. Y'all
right.
be wanting to call people weird? That's weird. Like, yeah, I get honoring and being proud of what your show looks like. I'm proud about me, baby. Like I know
Yeah.
I am. We ain't gonna do that. And I think it takes getting to a point of being self-confident like that where you're just willing to step into any room because you're not about to make me a color. When I come in the
Right.
room, I come in the room. Like don't do that to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like that's your bag. Yeah, that's your problem. I'm not about to get
Mhm.
into that. And you're not gonna force me to either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with the your name, Blue Sapphire, where did you get that from?
Okay. Now I'm gonna make you a little sad.
Oh shit.
Okay, so my niece is gonna be 17 next month. So
Mm,
17 years ago, I lost my mom. Um,
mm,
and I was very close with my mother. I'm
mhm.
a spiritual person, not a religious person.
Right.
So there's a lot that I believe in, a lot that I know that the average person doesn't believe or know about. I'm not into ghosts. I don't do it. I don't open
Mm,
myself up to that. So I think my mother understood that. So she went to everybody but me. And
mm,
I was just so frustrated because she went to my brother, she went to my husband, like they were smelling her. She was everywhere. And I'm like, what about me? So
mm,
I'm just not open to ghosts.
mm,
So eventually she started to come to me in dreams. And that's how she was able to connect with me. And in my dreams, she would always adorn me in diamonds and blue sapphires. Like they were
mm,
everywhere. Crowns, gloves, shoes, from head to toe. And this was going
mm.
on for months. And then fast forward a few months, I lost the baby not long after she
Oh, I'm
passed.
sorry. to hear that.
So I like checked out. I should have had on a straight jacket at that point. And
Mm,
and I wasn't responsive. And then I had another dream. And this time, if you've read the back of Boilers 2, you know
mm,
that I've had 9 miscarriages.
mm,
So this was number 2 out of the 9. And I was really depressed, sitting in the dark, and I had a dream, and blue sapphire was floating across the air. Like, what's that movie? Where the words are just floating in the air. Oh man, my husband always knows the name of it. I don't. But y'all probably know the movie I'm talking about, where the words are just floating. So blue sapphire is floating through the air, and best-selling author is floating through the air. And I'm in like a bookstore, and there's a
mhm,
baby carrier on the table, and my husband's standing behind me, and I'm signing books. And I woke up from that dream and punched him out his sleep, like, build my website, build my website. So I built it. We went to look for blue sapphire, as in blue sapphire spelled the correct way. And
mm,
when he looked for it, it was already taken. We would have had to pay like $1,000 to get it. And at this time, we ain't had it. I had $3. I started my
mm,
publishing company and my career as Blue Sapphire with $3 to my name. 3.
mm.
So I was like, nah, that ain't it. Put it SAFFIRE. So he looked for that and it came up. So we snatched up all the URLs we could with that. And when you're first signing up to GoDaddy, you can get them for like 99 cents, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he built the website that night because
Mm-hmm.
we don't have web development skills. And then I had Legally Bound 1 already written. So I read through it to get it as prepared as I could get it to put on a website. Went on this website, made me some janky color covers because I had some graphic design skills as well. Hated those covers, but anyway. Anyway, so I put the book up, and I think it was about 3 days later. I walked into this very office, and I went to look at my laptop. And when you look into the back end of Amazon, they show you your stats and stuff. And I found out I was the best-selling author. So I'm standing in the office like, oh shit. And my husband's like, what? So he comes running into the room, and I'm a best-selling author within 3 days. So that's how the name came about, how it stuck, and how we rolled.
Yeah.
Because that was a couple of other names before, but we were still researching and we didn't have it right. So those books didn't work out. They didn't go anywhere. But
Wow.
it did.
So how do you incorporate escapism and realism into your books?
I think that is all God. I have a
Mm.
certain prayer that I say before I start my books, and he takes me where I need to go. And I have to have a why. A book doesn't happen unless I have a why. Why am I doing this? Why am I
Mhm.
writing this? Why are these characters, these people? What's my
Mhm.
why? If there's no why, then you're just like jibber jabbering. So
Mhm.
um many times they'll explain to me that this is for the healing of this or this is for the healing of that. Like I told you with Ballers 2, that was for my
Mhm.
own personal healing. I needed to get
Right.
the fact that I had all those losses. So that's where that end goal came from. I knew that they needed to get to the end with those babies, but I knew that she was going to go through a journey to get there. Um,
Mhm.
so it usually starts with some type of why. Why are we getting here? What's this emotional wound this person is going through? What healing is somebody going to get at the end of this? You asked about Geo and
Mhm.
I was an angry something something when I wrote that
Mm.
series. So Geo had motivation through my anger, and we needed to show that you can be surrounded by people who don't realize that you see everything, even though you're quiet. I'm not saying that I see you, but I see you, and that was
Right.
where Geo and them came from. And then I got to the point where you really needed to see how much that man saw. So that's why
Mm.
in 2 books because I wanted you to take you through how he was the mastermind of everything, and there was nothing he did not know about. So
Mhm.
that's where a lot of things are triggered from. I find out their why, and then we get to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Like my current book that I'm working on that's about to come out. It's a 2-part book as well. The first book is more of a romantic drama. The second
Mhm.
book is the actual real life romance. Um,
Mm.
but if you have read Ballers 1, then you met
Mhm.
Trevor with Brad. And Trevor has this wife that we all want to be unalived. And with him, he's an alpha. But how did he end up here? Like, how do you end
Right.
up with this woman that you hate so much with kids and you still here? So y'all
Right.
needed to know where that damage came from. And
Mm.
they're giving me a time, but I'm loving this story. Like, this man is fire. He's fire. Like, I had to like step away yesterday. I'm at the end of the book, ready to send it to the proofreader, but I had to step away because they're the final text scene that goes into that book. Jesus.
Wow. It's like that.
Because I see it in my head. So his muscles flexing around her waist and stuff. That's in here. I'm sweating like, like really? Okay.
Yeah, tell me something. Damn. So you said that Ballers 2 was more of a healing book for you. Was there another book or series that was really hard for you to write, but it just needed to be written?
I cry every time that I read Brothers Black 1. And I
Mm.
just finished re-editing that one because we're moving towards audio
Mhm.
at some point for that. And when I tell you, I cry every time I read that book. Because, like I shared with you, my mother passed away. So, that whole thing, that Nelly
Yeah.
situation, was me and my husband because that was how he handled me. Like, I had a bad stutter the week that we had to do her funeral proceedings and stuff. Like, there was so
Mhm.
much other drama going on with that, with, family shows they behind. So there was
Right.
a lot going on. And I had a really bad stutter
Wow.
and could hardly function. And people just were taking advantage and it piled on. So that was a healing situation for me too, because like I was really damaged after my mom passed.